Hello, this is Barbara. Welcome to my video. This is a two-part video. In the first part, I will be following Izzy from IzzyBee Crafting with her amazing mini-series of making a landscape hardcover journal with her templates. And the second part will be some more calligraphy because I'm getting so many comments that you guys love watching the calligraphy. So I'll take you along on one of my assignments. So here I'm just flipping through the paper pad that I'm going to be using for Izzy's project, which is the Tim Holtz Memoranda pad, and I will try to link that below. I got it from Amazon. I must say this is my most favorite paper pad so far ever, and I love the fact that it has two of each design, so you don't have to be stingy using the papers, which is awesome. This is the second one I have from Tim Holtz, which is the French industrial one. This one only has one paper of each design, which is a bit of a bummer, but yeah, I've used a lot of that already in various projects, and I just thought in case there was something I wanted from this one, I would just have that handy. But for this episode of doing Izzy's cover, I actually will not be needing it. So I have stumbled across Izzy's series. I love watching Izzy's videos because she always has these fabulous projects and she makes these amazing templates, and I'm always so in awe of how organized she is with her folders and how she stores her templates with this self-adhesive spray that she has. Well, I am not that sophisticated. So what I did was I downloaded the templates. You can get them in her Etsy shop. I will obviously link them below. And this is not a tutorial, by the way, because obviously you can watch her video for the full tutorial. That's what she makes hers for. And mine is just going to be a fast run through of trying to follow what she's doing. And so I've downloaded the templates, printed them out, cut them out, folded them, and now I've chosen the ones that we need for the cover for today, and I've kind of just color-coded them on the back so that I would know which template belongs to which group of templates, because there's several groups and I've just kept them in different folders, and I've color-coded them so that I wouldn't get completely unorganized and messed up with what is with what, because there's so many of them. And I must say I really enjoyed working with these, because the cool thing is that this is like a no-brainer. So you cut these out and then you just follow the formats of the templates, and these are the first two I'm going to be using. And you don't have to measure anything, and that is so nice and relaxing. Of course, you don't have to use her templates. You can obviously make this whole journal without using any of her templates, but I really enjoyed the convenience of not having to think a lot about the measurements and just copying or tracing her templates. And Izzy, awesome job. I can imagine it's so much work to get these up in your shop, so good job, seriously. So I'm just tracing the first few parts, and what I'm using here is it was kind of like a book that I found at the Goodwill, and it had some papers that I already used inside, and I tore out, and I really wanted to keep the cover because it's very sturdy. I think it's like 2 or 3 millimeters thick and very hard. So I just traced those templates, which are now the front and back and the spine of the cover. And as you can see now, I'm just cutting them with my Stanley knife. And so the little one is the spine, and then we have the two, the front and the back. So very easy to do. And Izzy is also using a different paper pad, which I love, the one she has, but I thought I'd just give it a try with this Tim Holtz one. Actually, I just needed an excuse to get another Tim Holtz paper pad. And now I'm using, for the spine, I'm using this, what is it called? Tyvek, is it maybe? So I got this envelope made out of Tyvek in one of my Happy Mails, and I'm so thankful that I got this because it's so cool. I wouldn't know where else to get Tyvek from. We don't have it as readily here in Europe as you do in the States. So thank you again so much that I received this. So I am using this to make my spine, to connect all the parts. So you see here I am just now placing all the parts on it, so that's how it's going to be connected. And I'm just using my tacky glue. I know a lot of people use either the 3-in-1 glue, or there's this what is it called, the Fabric-Tac or something like that. A lot of people use that as well. Well, I have neither, and I didn't want to purchase extra one for this, so I'm just using my regular tacky glue, and I think it works just fine. And I'm just brushing it to make it even, and it worked totally okay. It looks like it's gonna hold, but of course, well, I'll let you know in a few years if it still holds, but it seems sturdy enough. So I'm just burnishing that to make sure that it really is stuck down well. And as I said, so I know this is fast what I'm doing, and you won't really be able to follow me, but that's not the point. I'm making this video just because so you can see another version of what Izzy is doing, and just because I wanted to try it, because when I saw her videos, they looked like so much fun, and I have no idea how the end product is actually going to look, because that is still a mystery. But today when I am uploading my video, she's uploading her 3rd episode, so I'm very curious to see how this will progress. So what I'm doing now is I'm choosing papers for the front and the back cover, and the one I chose for the front was one that had which was fairly busy, and it kind of reminded me of like an I don't know, like a office book, which is the look I wanted to go for. And I know one person that likes that. That's Allison. She specializes in office journals, so I had to think of you, Allison, when I made this, and I love it. I love the style so much. So that's gonna be the front. And then for the back, I wanted something not quite as busy. So you just flip the template around, and then you see that is the direction you need for the back cover. So now I'm flipping through again, and I wanted something a little more calm. And which one do I choose? There's so many beautiful papers in there. Oh my god. I don't think this will be my last copy of this pad. So I'm still kind of trying to decide what to put there, which will fit to the front but not be as busy as the front. And then I saw that I really liked one of the back sides, actually, one of the papers, which was this one. I really love that. And so that was going to be, that top part was going to be my my back cover. So now I am doing the same thing as with the front cover. I am just going to trace that, figure out where I want to place it, and just trace that. And then I'm going to cut around it with my scissors. I really enjoyed this project. It was so fun to do. It was so quick to do. But I must say, I did cut out the templates and print them like a few days before, because I knew there were a lot. So it's good to have those in advance and not do everything on the same day. Or you just cut the ones you need for the part that you need. That would work as well. So now I am just scoring along the score lines that she had on the template. And you don't actually have to have a scoreboard for this, or a bone folder. You can totally do this just with like a ruler, and yeah, you don't need fancy tools for this at all, but I have one, so of course I'm going to use mine. I love my scoreboard. It was years before I had one. I always thought, I don't need it, why? But I must confess, since I have one, I love it dearly, and it was an investment that was totally worth it. I will link this one down below as well in case you're interested, and it also has a trimmer on that scoreboard, so that's cool. Again, I'm using my tacky glue, and then I'm using my brush to smoothen it out. This is the front side, I believe. Yeah, that's the front. And now I'm just gonna pop that on there. And again, burnish it to make sure it holds really well. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the flaps. Glue it, brush the glue, and glue those over the edge. These templates are so perfect. Like, there's nothing you have to adjust if you stick to her measurements. But of course, it's great because you'll have the templates forever, and you can do so many different journals with it. And of course, you can even adjust the size. You can make a tall journal instead of a landscape one. You can adjust it however you want. It's so flexible. And there's so many more goodies inside. I saw, like, she has templates for, I believe, envelopes and tags and pockets and all these things. So I'm very, very much looking forward to how this will continue. So now I am doing the same process with the back side of the journal. And of course, Izzy does a lot more explaining of how to do things and why to do them this way. It's not my job. Not in this video anyway. Okay, burnished it, now doing the sides. I hope you guys like my sped up videos. I know this is fast, but yeah, I don't know. I enjoy sped up videos when I see them. Unless I'm doing something alongside, then I don't mind when it's real time. Okay, burnishing everything down. Okay, front and back are on it. Loving both. Everything looking good so far. And now I'm going to distress the edges with some vintage photo, as always, inside and outside. I guess you can also do that at a later stage, but I'm following what Izzy's doing and just sticking to that. Now this is the outer spine, and I'm just trying to place that over the spine so I can have a better idea of how this is going to work. I've never done anything like this before, made a journal in this style at all. And I decided for my cover, I didn't want that spine to cover up as much of that writing as it would have, so I decided to narrow that down. So here I'm just drawing the line of how far I actually want it to go, and I'm doing the same thing on the back side so that it's even. And I don't want to cut the template because maybe for another journal I will use the wider measurements. And here I have some book cloth that I was able to get at a store that was closing in Vienna, unfortunately. And so they had really good prices for their things when they were closing, so I got a whole bunch of book cloth and I'm so happy I got it. So now I'm just trying to choose which color I want the spine to be, and in the end I go for one of those two reds because that went really well with some of the writing. I know it's kind of small, but some of the writing on the top of that cover is red, and so I thought that kind of just pops. And Izzy is making an amazing faux leather spine for hers, which is totally amazing. But honestly, it looked like so much work that I chickened out, and I'm like, nah, I have some beautiful book cloth. I'm just gonna go with that and shorten the process by a whole lot. So that's why I'm doing this. If you don't have the book cloth and you don't wanna do the process of the faux leather, although it really, what you have to look at it, it's really, really so cool how it turned out, then of course you can just use a piece of cardstock or something that wouldn't be too I wouldn't use anything that's too hard or too stiff, because you do want to be able to fold it over. But I guess regular cardstock would work, because we also use the cardstock to fold over the covers, so why shouldn't it work for this? So now I was just marking where the creases are so that I could place it better, and now I'm just trying to decide which piece am I going to glue, and am I going to glue the spine or am I going to glue the book cloth, and I decided to just do it on the book cloth, not putting glue all the way to the edge yet. I was going to do that later. I just wanted the middle part to stick for now. So now I'm just placing that on the glue, trying to sort of center that. And I'm going to burnish it as well, and I am sure to make those creases there. And now I'm going to properly glue those ends down. I also don't know yet if she's going to sew in her signatures or is she going to make a hidden spine. I really don't know how this is going to continue. Okay, so there's the outer cover done. Loving it. And now it was time to work on the inside. So here are the templates for the inside. So here we have the spine for the inside, and we have the inner cover front and back, which is the same template. So once again, I'm looking through this memoranda paper pad to see what I wanted, and I knew I didn't want anything busy for the inside because I didn't know what else was going to be put in there and what my first page was going to be. So I kind of didn't want to take the thunder of the first page. And I thought it's better if I stick with something that's not quite as loud. So I chose this one page where I'll be taking the front and the back. I mean, it still has quite a bit of design on it, but it's still one of the more, quotes, quieter pages that are in there. And it has quite a bit of yellow. And now I'm looking for another one which I would use for my inside spine, and I decided to go for this one, which is quite busy, but since I'm guessing that not all the spine will show because the signatures will be in there, I wasn't too worried about it. So now I'm doing the same thing as before. I'm first choosing where exactly I want my spine to be and on what part of the design, tracing it, cutting it out. And then I'm doing the same thing with the front and the back, trying to choose the place that I want. So first I'm doing the front side. Cutting that out. Just checking that it's gonna work and look nice, and I like how that looks. And now I'm just gonna do the back inside cover. Same thing, cut it out, and then see how that would look, front and back. Loving it. And there's my spine. So that's how it's gonna look on the inside. So next step was then to, again, to mark where those creases on the spine are, because I did want to score those to make my life easier when I'm gluing it in. Okay, so everything fits together nicely, and just checking again that all the measurements are right, but everything is perfect. And of course now I'm going to ink everything up, all of those papers. This front side and the back side. Yeah, and now it's time again to just glue it on, same process. I really like this method of just spreading the glue with the brush. I have an old paintbrush that I only use for glue. So putting the back in, burnishing it again, doing the same thing with the front. And finally with the spine. And putting this in again, I'm making sure that I am going inside those creases well so that it will bend well. Yeah, and that's the inside. So that's as far as we get. Those are the first 2 episodes from Izzy. And I'm going to head on over to her channel to see what the 3rd episode is and what she will be doing in that one. So totally happy with how it looks so far. And I know I can already use this for so many different projects, this technique. So now a huge jump to my calligraphy. So this was my last assignment for the, or it was the final assignment for the font, which is called Semi-Unchill, which is a really weird word. In German it's just as weird. It's called Halbunziale. It's a very, very old writing. And so the assignment was to write 2 A3 pages. So for you Americans, this is huge. So an A4 page is the closest that you have to your regular, I guess, like legal sized paper. And so I needed 2 double ones. And the assignment was to write a text with that alphabet, and to also include 2 like either logos or signs, or I don't know what else you want to call them, that have something to do with the text. So for me, I decided the best thing for me was to do something in relation to this YouTube channel. And so the logo I made was for 49 Dragonflies, which you will see that I will do at the end of this when I've completed the text. And the text I'm writing is basically what my channel is about. So you can see that at the end I have a photo of the whole page, so you can then read it if you want to. You can also read it in my about page on this channel. It's just a bit shorter than what I have on these 2 papers because I needed to fill up more space. And it looks like I'm writing pretty fast. This is obviously sped up by a lot, but not just that it's sped up, it is I've cut out so many segments where I had to re-ink the nib. So this, by the way, is a 4mm flat nib, and it took me, I don't know, at least 1.5 hours to write these 2 pages without the logo. And I had to start over a few times because the first 2 times I had huge ink blobs on these papers, and you can imagine how frustrating it is once you're halfway through the page and then you have this giant ink blob from your paintbrush and you could just hit the roof. But yeah, so this was my 3rd try, and thankfully it worked out. And I was so happy when I was done. Honestly, I would have given myself a B for this assignment because there were several things I was not happy with. But surprisingly, I got an A, so I was very happy with that. Oh yeah, we did have to include these weird, like little, I don't know what you want to call it, little doodly things, which came out wonky in my case, which is one of the things I didn't like. But oh well. There's never enough time to practice the fonts a lot because we're just jumping from one to the other. So now we've already started the next alphabet or font, which is the Gothic font, which is like a whole nother story and a whole new dimension. It is really, really difficult. I'm struggling, but I just, had a few hours with it so far. And you will see that in some of my upcoming videos. And it's also with a very different nib. I've never seen a nib like that before. I don't know what they're called in English. In German they're called Plakatfeder, which would translate to something like poster nib. Maybe that's the correct term. I don't know. Okay, so I'm finally done with the writing. So now I'm trying to create this logo. And so it was going to be a round logo on which I would write in a circle twice 49 dragonflies, as you can see here. And of course it has to be very symmetric. And just so you don't think I managed to do this on my first try, I will show you afterwards the paper where I was trying to design this or trying to practice. And yeah, it took me quite a few times to get this far. And so now I'm just tracing my pencil with a 0.1 or 0.3 millimeter black felt pen. And now I'm just gonna draw this very simple dragonfly in the middle, and you'll see a close-up of that in a second. Yeah, so that's the logo. Of course, I'm going to erase all the pencil lines. And the second logo I had was on the other page. Yeah, this was my draft, basically. And the other page has this just journal on it, which you can't see very well. It's on the next photo on the top right. It's very small. Anyway, so that's it for today. A little bit something different. So hope you enjoyed it anyway, and I hope to see you in the next video on Tuesday. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Bye.